The following is an exclusive presentation of Jessup Broadcasting, the sports leader in Southeast Georgia.
World famous. The world famous Butch and Bob Show.
And good morning to you. You're listening to the Big Dog, WIFO FM in Jessup, 105.5 on your FM dial, Big Dog Country Radio. Wednesday morning, it is the 8th day of April. Butch Hubbard here with you, along with Bob Morgan. World famous Butch and Bob Show brought to you by Nips Car Wash, located on Highway 301 South, just past McDonald's there on the left-hand side, and by Murphy Builder Supply, located on Northeast Broad Street in downtown Jessup. Morning, Bob.
Good morning.
Still practicing that social distancing?
I'm doing it.
Doing it big time, huh? Have you got you a mask yet?
No.
No mask
yet.
I understand my dad's using his skull caps for masks. You know how those guys put the skull mask on, around their head, and tie it around there. I understand that's what he's using. So when he goes out and he has it on, and then when he gets back home, Mary washes it for him.
I haven't been around big crowds, so if I go to big crowds, I'll
Well, basically we're talking about going to the store, things of that sort, going to the grocery store and stuff. Oh! Well, let's see who's on the
should be Bill.
Our hotline this morning. Big Dog Country Radio.
Hey, this is Bill Werkheiser. I didn't know if I was...
Well, yeah, that's great. We appreciate you calling in, Bill. We have Bill Werkheiser, State Representative Bill Werkheiser, called in right now. Bob, take over and let's talk to Bill.
I don't have a headset.
You don't have a headset? Jonathan, we need a headset. Bill, how you doing?
Doing good.
Doing good? I was just asking Bob if he's practicing his social distancing. He said, yeah. You still doing the same thing there, Bill?
Yes, sir.
Practicing that social distancing? All right, good. Staying healthy?
Hey, so far.
So far, so good, huh? All right. Well,
My wife and I... Go ahead.
Okay, here comes Bob. Hold on.
Okay, again, Wednesday at
Okay.
Werkheisers. Again, Bill, didn't get a chance to talk to you last week. A lot going on in the state of Georgia. Just want to get your thoughts on where the state is at this time with everything going on with this coronavirus. Your thoughts?
Well, as you probably saw yesterday, the numbers went really up. And this was kind of the spike that we were expecting, but hoping it wouldn't come. But looks like it's going to be here. But then again, until you have the spike, that means you're not going to get to the other side of it. So, just hope everybody is staying home and staying safe.
Yeah, the one thing that I stressed today on my newscast, the two areas of the state of Georgia and around this area, Albany's still a little bit further away, but they had that incident where a person attended a funeral and also a fish fry, and their numbers continue to spike. They've got like 30-something deaths. And Pierce County is another situation we heard of recently where they had a church gathering that was not recommended, and someone was infected there, and that's starting to see the spike in Pierce County. So their numbers are continuing to rise as well. So, again, you listen to the Dr. Fauci and all these medical experts, they tell you mitigation is the only way that's going to stop it. The social distancing is definitely what's helped. They point to California. They point to Washington State. Those people took the advice quickly. Their numbers continue to stay at a steady level and has not seen a spike. So you can't stress enough, Bill. You just got to hope people heed the message. But, I've talked to my sister in Atlanta. She's a nurse. And talked to my other sister in South Carolina. She's a nurse. She says they don't see people following the guidelines, So I don't know how you get the message to people to do what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, I don't either. And I didn't know about Pierce County. Of course, I saw the story in Statesboro, and I don't get it. And then I guess you saw yesterday there was one nursing home or facility that had 10 deaths in one facility. So that's how dangerous and fast it can spread. So because some of these people are saying, "Well, I'm healthy. If it's like the flu, I'll get over it." Well, that's not the problem. It's who you can pass it on to that might not recover. So, I'm with you. I don't get it.
Yeah, all you can do is continue to get the message out. Hopefully people heed the advice. But, fortunately, Wayne County, I think, was ahead of the curve as well. Our local officials implemented the lockdown quickly and stressed how important it is for social distancing. So far, numbers, remain low. They say they're going to continue to rise because more and more people have been tested, and understand the test takes several days for it to come back. So, Wayne County,
I hate to say this, but not several days. Several weeks.
Several weeks. Well,
people that I know who have had it and contacted, it was 2 weeks. So there's another interesting thing there is if it, they keep saying it's getting shorter and shorter, but so far it hasn't. So if it takes 2 weeks, we could possibly see like incredible spike in numbers, and that doesn't mean it's growing. It just means that the test results are coming in. That's why the death numbers are really a better indication, because those are real-time numbers. But and like I said, we had 100 deaths in Georgia just yesterday, and it took us 3 weeks to get to that number, to the first 100.
Right. They say this week and next week are going to be probably the 2 toughest weeks for this area. So, you just got to stress to continue to do what they ask you to do. Now, the governor's got a press conference day at 4 o'clock. Have any idea what's going to take place there?
No, I've got one at 2 o'clock. We always get a little bit of a heads up, not much. We've been busy with conference calls. We have them with House leadership. We have them as a caucus. We have them as a General Assembly. We have them with the governor. And so I'm trying to keep up with all those.
But the one thing I heard he's going to do, he's probably going to extend this lockdown to the end of the month to coincide with the president's lockdown. Do you think that's a good idea?
Yeah, we need to, and so as you may remember, and all my dates are getting messed up, it was around the 13th of last month, we gave the governor permission to do a 30-day state of emergency. So that deadline is coming up, and we were told that we would be going back to the Capitol on the 15th, either 13th, 14th of this month, whatever the 30 days is. And then, but now, a lot of people were questioning why would 230 people from every area of the state need to get together. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But technically, the Georgia state of emergency we're within a week of that running out.
Can he extend that himself?
No, he needs our permission. So what happens is he declares his intention, and then within 2 days, the General Assembly has to approve it. And it's a formality. I mean, of course, we would, but that's technically that's the answer.
Do you have to meet in person to approve it, or can you do it through video conferencing?
That is a good question, and I'm sure those are the questions that are being asked of Legislative Council. What's interesting, a week ago, all the House members were asked to sign up for Zoom under an account for the General Assembly. That makes me wonder, was that in preparation?
Well, be careful with Zoom, because a lot of those accounts have been hacked. And a lot of meetings that were not supposed to be made public have been made public between government officials, business officials, all kinds of organizations out there. So make sure that when y'all Zoom, that it's very, very secure, because it has been hacked, and there's a lot of private information that's out there on the web right now.
Okay, unfortunately, myself and Representative Meeks and Senator Tillery look after each other and listen to each other, and Stephen just texted me and said yesterday, the Speaker said there is a mechanism in place that we don't have to go back.
Good.
So there you go.
There you go. Another item.
Thank you, Stephen.
Another item that may be addressed today in the governor's press conference is his decision to open the beaches, which has come under a lot of criticism from Representatives of Tybee and I know Glenn County Commission Board sent him a letter asking him not to do that. So the president was asked this week in his daily briefing about that. He said he didn't really know about it. He would check into it. But I understand there was a conversation between the governor and the president about that. You know anything about that?
Well, no, other than what I've read, just like you. But, I don't want to land on either side of our argument, but it's funny how, all the they always scream local control, and then the governor used that as for delaying and said, okay, the locals know your area better than we do. I'm not doing a statewide. Well, then all the locals, the Georgia Municipal Association, everyone else, wrote a letter, and their office got blasted with calls saying we want state control. So then we do state control, and they say, well, no, that's not what we want. That's not how we want it. So, I mean, you can't win. As you know, in leadership, everything you do is going to be micro looked at. It's not a position I would envy. I'm sure he has not made every decision perfect because he's not a perfect individual. But I can tell you this: he, Dr. Toomey, and all those folks are working literally around the clock, trying to do what's best. So it's a tough, not enviable position to be in right now.
And this whole thing has opened up that debate and that discussion again. People are questioning, who do you listen to? Where's the one person or the one entity that gives the guidelines and tells you what you need to do? Because it seems like there's messages from different, every time you turn around, you get a different message. And the same thing you just mentioned, local control, state control, federal control, the local governments came out with their guidelines, and then the governor came out with his guidelines, and then the local commissioners and the Wayne County commissioners had to meet and say that they want to make it clear that anything the governor does supersedes what they do.
Correct.
Same thing with the president. Anything he does supersedes what the local. So that's the frustration. But people want to know, where do they listen to, or who do they listen to? Where's the one voice?
It gets worse. Unfortunately for Georgia, our Department of Public Health person, Dr. Toomey, she is one incredible smart person, and her what she grew up as a living, she was an epidemiologist, and so she knows her stuff. But here's the big picture problem. This is something that we've never. Think about it. I'm 6 years old. We've never faced anything like this in our life. It's not a normal virus, so it's a guessing game. The CDC twice has had to backtrack and said, oh, well, I know we told y'all this, but now we're saying this. We said, face masks don't do any good. Now they're saying wear a face mask. So even the experts are changing their mind. And, of course, when you change your mind, you look like you don't know what you're doing. But again, they're operating from the standpoint of there's no playbook, So it's, again, they're in a tough position.
Well, the playbook for the next pandemic is being written right now.
There you go. Exactly.
The big frustration for a lot of people is, like you said, it's all becoming political. You see all this finger pointing, blame game, things like that. It doesn't do anybody any good. All people want to do is they tune in every day. They want to know, when's this going to end, and how do you stop it? Those are the only two questions that need to be answered at this point. Why do you think? I guess everything's political, but it's just sad to see every day it's finger pointing and blame game, and who that's not solving anything at this point.
Amen and amen. And I'll tell you a perfect example of that. Everything is about a gotcha moment. Of course, Kemp misspoke, saying about the asymptomatic. If you listen to everything he has said the weeks prior to that, he has not done everything perfect, but I'm going to defend him on that because, yes, he said it. He said what he said. The guy's operating on very little sleep. He should have came back and said, look, that was, a misstep, which he didn't do, and I think that's probably the bigger mistake is, so now they spend, and then about the beach thing. So now we got pictures of how empty the beaches are to defend the decision to open the beaches. It's like they're having to defend themselves on media gotcha moments, and instead of working on the problem. And you're right. And I really see it. Just because of the folks I'm around, it's like exactly what you just said. Every decision is micromanaged, and if you're on the right or the left, if it's an automatic, whatever you say, I'm going to be on the other side. So
the governor
doesn't help anybody.
And the governor said the opening the beaches was mainly for people to walk on the beach and get some exercise. It wasn't for everybody to go out and have a party, but it looks to me like the local officials at Tybee and Glenn County got their feelings hurt because they went ahead and made an order to close the beaches, and the governor turned around a couple of days later and opened the beaches. So, again, it just seems like political, who's got control, who's making decisions. I mean, it's just...
But remember, they were the very ones who were begging the governor to do something statewide, quit putting it on us.
Right.
So if you're going to say that, then you got to, if you want to be the parent, or if you decide you don't want to be the parent, don't in the next breath criticize and micromanage the decisions.
Well, that's why it's going to be interesting here at 4 o'clock to see if he does anything, because I would hate to see him just backtrack on that decision after he already then it's going to be real confusing on what's taking place. So, but
and on the beach thing, I will say this, and again, I hate they're having to spend time defending their actions, but they have shown video clips of the beaches the following day, and there's hardly anyone there. It's safe. They're being monitored. So on that one issue, I think it's a non-issue. It's like, okay, go to the next thing. I don't know. And it's ironic. People, are going to the beach, take pictures of people on the beach, show how bad. And I'm thinking, well, why are you at the beach taking pictures of people at the beach? Why don't you be at home?
One of the things the officials in Glenn County and Tybee Island and all them are concerned about is people coming in from New York City and Pennsylvania and Connecticut and all over around to say, oh, the beaches are open down there in Georgia. Let's go down there and get a room and at least be able to walk on the beach and get out of the situation up there. I think if it was just locals, maybe the local governments would have a different opinion, but they're all concerned about these folks coming in from out of state to enjoy the beaches, and that's what they're more concerned about than anything else, I feel.
Yeah, and like I said, it may not have been the best decision, but I didn't have all the information that they had, so I just,
well, he did make the right statement. The governor did, and say, no gatherings, no chairs, no tents, no tables. Just go out there and walk. And as we all know, walking on the beach is one of the most relaxing activities for humankind. And if you can have folks out there, practicing social distancing, because it's a big beach, you can really, practice social distancing on the beach. It's a great thing for a person to do. But to me, it's that 95% statement. 95% of the people will do what is recommended. 5% won't. And so rules and regulations and laws are written to hold that 5% in.
And the crazy thing is, as Bob was saying at the top of the show, I mean, look at Albany. It was just one funeral. And look at what that's done. I mean, that's how dangerous this thing is. The numbers, the per capita cases and deaths in Albany are literally the highest in the country per capita.
Yeah.
And one event. That's kind of a scary thought.
Yeah.
And that's why our local officials continue to commend our church community for having online services, because they're trying to avoid that large gathering, because you just don't know. And like I said, it's such a deadly disease and it spreads so quickly. That's what's happening in Pierce County right now. That's why their numbers are spiking. So, it's funny about the beach thing, how people nitpick things. When he first, he said no umbrellas, no tents. He left out coolers. So people were posting, and go take a cooler. So he had to add that to it. That no, you can't have coolers and be partying. So it's just crazy. Like I said, everybody's just pointing fingers. I think it's just useless. Like I said, the only thing people want to know is when we can get back to normal life. When will this end? What do we have to do? And like I said, everything I see from every doctor, medical expert, they say mitigation is the only way to stop it at this point until they get a vaccine. So,
Yeah.
I had a good story on the Sportscast. Yesterday was the deadline for season ticket holders. So the season ticket holders are sold out in Athens. So they're expecting football, and hopefully if they have football, they have a big crowd. So
I'm ready.
People are getting excited about that. So you got to look for the bright side. Look for some good news. But hopefully people continue to do what they've been asked to do. I think most people here in Wayne County, I said it every day, most people in Wayne County are doing exactly what they've been asked to do, and I think that's really helped. And I said that I commend. Officials, elected officials get bashed all the time, but you got to give hats off to the mayor and the county commissioners that get together early. They did.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I said they just implemented early, so I think it helped.
We really did. We've got some of the best leadership locally, and I was bragging to my kids in my district. We've got 4 cases, 0 in Evans, 3 in Patnell, and isn't it just still 1 in Wayne?
No, 3 in Wayne right now.
3, okay. So,
but as you mentioned, the tests take time to get back, so they just expect those numbers to continue. Yeah. So,
but it's still relative to the rest of the state.
Right.
So they want to mention, just because it's been incredibly sad time for Georgia with Jack Hill. That was a punch in the gut. If you're around the process, you realize he and Terry England have there's not a day they don't wake up and work on the budget. And they don't talk about it, but it's true. It's one of the most toughest jobs up there. And the crazy thing is, showing my age, as long as Jack's been up there, I knew him for a while before, let's see, almost 20 years before he was a politician. And he, people call and ask comments since I'm his rep or whatever. And, it made me reflect and think that, he never changed. He was a small-town grocer when he got elected, and 36 years later, he is overseeing a budget north of $20 billion and doing it in the same conservative, methodical, low-key, gentle way as the way he started. And it's tough to that's gonna leave a hole.
Have you got geese flying over you?
I do. I walked outside.
Sounds like ducks or something.
No, those stupid Canadian geese. Can you send Mark down here to pick all those up? Mr. Williams.
Yeah, we have the same thing here. It had to be moved.
I am in my driveway, so I'm being safe, but I do like to get out and have fresh air. So this is my beach.
Yeah, your driveway's your beach, huh? Well, you got the birds, and they're not seagulls, but, they're at least birds or geese flying over.
They're Canadian geese, but they make a mess of the yard. So.
Oh, are they flying north? Are they flying north?
No, that's the crazy thing is they don't fly anywhere. They stay here year-round.
They just must like you, Bill.
Yeah. No, and golf courses and colleges have spent tens of thousands relocating, getting rid of. They're federally protected. I don't know how, since there's a zillion of them. So all you can do is do noise. You can't kill them. So, but DNR has programs to relocate them. But anyway, I remember where Southeastern Tech spent, I don't know how much, thousands of dollars, and a year later, you drive by there now, there's 300 in the...
And they're aggressive things, too.
Yeah. Yeah, so anybody, I have tried everything. I've got a fake coyote in my yard. I've got a fake swan.
Put you the scarecrows up there.
I have.
Yeah, like you said, you may have to You may have to give Mark a call and have him send some Raiders in to gather them up and take them off somewhere.
Yeah.
But they'll find their way back.
Yeah.
Again, as you mentioned, still have to approve the budget. That still has to be done. When's the deadline for that again? When's the last day?
Well, the budget starts July 1st, so that brings up an interesting scenario with this fire. So we've worked for weeks crafting a budget, and you can basically throw that out.
Oh, wow.
We will be starting over. Yeah, but, I mean, look at what this has done to businesses.
Yep.
And, our income comes from, half of it comes from income tax and sales tax, all that. So if you hadn't already figured it out, I wouldn't spend that teacher's raise. I wouldn't spend that income tax cut. I think everything is out the window.
Okay.
It's going to be tough.
It's going to be an interesting process when it does get back to normal. So, again, appreciate you being here every Wednesday. Again, sad about the passing of Jack Hill. Again, it's a sad story in the state of Georgia, but, we just want everybody to continue to stay safe and continue to follow the guidelines. Before you go, like I said, I've asked Stephen, if you have one message that people may pay attention to during this crisis, what they need to do.
Well, you said it, and because if everybody does their part, and that's where, people think, oh, I'm the one person, I can't make a difference. You can. If every one of us would stay at home, and then when you have to go get groceries, be safe about it, wash your hands, you have done your part. If everybody would do that, we can get to the other side of this.
We just had a text come in. I know that the federal level, on the federal side, they have delayed when you can have to file your income taxes. Is that the same date as Georgia? Because somebody just said, is Georgia income tax deadline changed? Is it past April 15th to July 15th? I think it's July 15th, isn't it?
July 15th, I thought.
July what?
19th.
19th, okay.
Yes. So Georgia is being consistent. So
Okay.
That's the new date. Which, again, that's how the state, you go to work and you get a paycheck. That's how the state gets their money. So now we've just delayed in a tough situation even further. So, but yes, our date coincides. Great question.
All right.
Okay, Bill. Again, appreciate you calling in. Stay safe.
Thank y'all. And be safe and appreciate it. And we'll see y'all next week.
Okay, take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, State Representative Bill Werkheiser, our special guest here on the world-famous Butch and Bob Show, Wednesdays with Werkheiser, here on the world-famous Butch and Bob Show on WIFO 105.5 FM in Jess. It was so interesting to hear those geese fly up. I'm thinking, is that geese? Yep, you could hear it. I mean, you could hear it, just, lightly and then loud and then fly away. But, we can relate to the geese situation here.
I was going to say, you need to call the rec department here in Wayne County. They might be able to help you.
From what Bill just said. Little inside Wayne County joke here.
There's not a geese problem anymore.
Not a geese problem. In the middle of the night. All right. Someone just texted in and said that short-term and extending rentals was stopped temporarily in Glenn County to address the gathering issue on the beaches and area. So that's one of the things that Glenn County has done is do their best to stop this short-term rentals and extending rentals. But I don't think that would apply to hotel rooms and motel rooms.
No, Bill just made an interesting point. All that work they did on the budget, now that this thing's hit, it changes everything. So they got a lot of work to do.
Oh, a lot of work to do.
So if they're going to change the whole budget.
And then you have one of the few people who know the budget, Jack Hill, who just died. So
I mean, they can't do that in a day or something. That's going to be I would think, a pretty long, drawn-out process.
We know how long the process was when they were in regular session starting in January.
So that's going to be interesting to follow. See how that plays out.
Yeah. So we'll keep up with it. We have regular calls from Representative Stephen Meek, State Senator Blake Tillery, and also State Representative Bill Werkheiser. It's going to be great to have Congressman Doug Collins on the world-famous Butch and Bob Show on Friday. Of course, he's running for U.S. Senate. and that is who the president wanted the Governor Kemp to pick to fill that temporary position after Isaacson had stepped down because of health issues. And so it'll be interesting to see what Doug has to say, because when his staff called and set up the meeting, and she asked, well, what kind of questions are you going to ask him? And I said, well, just basically the basic questions. It'll be the first time we've had him on the show. I said, we had the lieutenant governor on last week, and we've had the governor on several times, and it'll just be the first time we have someone on like this. We want folks to know who he is. I mean, he's from North Georgia, who he is, and his history, and then, of course, his stance on certain issues. And, of course, we'll talk about the COVID-19 situation. And so Congressman Doug Collins, running for U.S. Senate, going to be on the world-famous Butch and Bob Show Friday morning starting at 8 o'clock.
And we got an important show tomorrow as well. Again, online teaching gets underway Monday. School Superintendent Jay Brinson will be here with all those details tomorrow and give us an update on where the school system is at this point. So should be a very interesting show tomorrow with School Superintendent Jay Brinson. So got a good lineup the rest of the week.
Okay. All right. Someone just texted in that Glenn County ordinances did address the hotel motel stays on St. Simon's. No new reservations except for essential business or family situations, not just to come down and vacation. So what do? You ask somebody, what, you here for business or pleasure, like you go through a foreign airport. You here for business or pleasure?
How do you do that over the phone? How do you know?
I guess I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I guess when you're there, when they ask you, they say, why are you making a hotel reservation on St. Simon's? Or, yeah. Do we have any corona cases in Wayne Memorial Hospital? I don't know about Wayne Memorial Hospital, but we have 3 positive cases here in Wayne County.
Right. They don't say where they're at.
They don't say where the people are. No. All right. Anything else, Bob?
I think that'll do it.
All right. Have a good day. World famous Butch and Bob Show right here on WIFO 105.5 FM in Jessup, Big Dog Country Radio, brought to you by Murphy Builder Supply, where the builders buy. You got a lot of time on your hands right now. Do those home projects, do those repairs. Depend upon the expert advice down there at Murphy Builder Supply.
The world famous Butch and Bob Show.